Editing, and learning Fusion. I'm going to turn off my camera so we can focus on the screen. Turn off the audio. And then the fix we found yesterday by mistake in order to get rid of the stuttering. Well, first of all, maybe turn off Unity. So today a lot of fixing and some new stuff that I think is pretty neat. The explosions were a little confusing because the fragmented explosions were used for the mortar shell and a couple of the turrets. And so the result is that visually you didn't know if one of your turrets was blowing up when using the missile launcher MK3. So now the explosions are they all look like that. Explosion turret fragmenting. So they all look like that for the turret exploding. Makes more sense. In fact, now that I look at it, I think it's a little slow, so to speed things up, what you do is you change the lifetime 0.3.5 for example. There you go. More punchy. And then you add maybe a couple of them, like maybe you add stuff like that. See how it does, like it explodes and it reverberates. It's a little much. That was not bad. Maybe in the middle. Yeah, it looks like two explosions, so we're gonna keep it like that. Clarity in a game that's so chaotic is more important than aesthetic. At least when you want to play efficiently. And so this explosion right here, the one I showed you, is for all the turrets. All the turrets, as well as the bots, they all blow up in a similar way, shooting fragments. And now for the mortar shell, T prefab. Oh, T prefab for those who are using or want to use Unity. All right, let me take care of something. Boom, 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 boom. So yeah, T colon is type. So it means that you're looking for that name that is of type prefab. A bit of a shame is the search. The way it works is it doesn't autocomplete or doesn't wildcard the type. It wildcards the name, so the name is similar to that, but this doesn't exist, doesn't work. Hopefully it will be improved at a later time. Let's see. Boom, boom, make sure it works and stuff. Voila. Hopefully Voilà, that was me. So we take care of this. Discording. And okay, there you go, it's set up. Okay, let's carry on. So we have separation of explosions, so things are much clearer now. The explosion for the mortar is now using I think I had done a while back using Ambergen. So Ambergen is this very, very cool system that does real-time volumetric fire and gas. I mean real time depending on the machine, depending on the GPU. So the GPU I have allows for simple stuff. And so what you do is you render with Ambergen, you render a flipbook like so. There you go. I knew it was one of the buttons. Yeah, to expand this, you click with the right button on this menu bar. Voila, and you have the whole thing. And so this one is rendered in Ambergen, and it's using a format where I use the alpha channel also as a mask for the emission in a shader, custom shader, which can boost emission and use the volumetric backlighting for the albedo. So if you the benefit of that is if you have a smoke, let's say a gray smoke, and you have a little bit of fire in it, the gray smoke, you can also compute a like I did right here. You can also compute a normal map. Voila. And you see the normal map is actually very accurate. And with a little shader, what it does is it computes the influence of the directional volumetric. So the way Mr. F encoded the volumetric lighting is L0 encodes the ambient light, so non-directional light. L1 and L2 encode the directionality. And so when you decode those three values, you can then have it influence the lighting based on a normal map, and you have a very nicely integrated non-volumetric sprite-based particle system. And so we have something like that. It's way more punchy, way more punchy. And also because the explosion has a radius of 4 units, I wanted to visually denote the influence radius with that shockwave. So that's now the mortar. I think it looks pretty cool. The result is that visually things are a little more separated. In addition to that, a lot of things that were still on my to-do list for quite a while, like a better explanation of the challenge, how the challenge works. Because currently what it is it's a interactive explanation, but what I noticed is that most players, they don't read the explanation. So that's why repetition is necessary, because this is a key game mechanic. If people don't understand the challenge nightmare, the normal challenge nightmare, they're unable to harvest enough diamond. And so if they cannot harvest enough diamond, then the game is not fun at all. Let's see if I can put a filter in the sound, because I think I put a limiter because yeah, that's much better. So threshold, point, tac, 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 voila. I put a limiter so that your ears are spared. So yeah, so that stuff works now. There were a few missions that were not being triggered. And in fact, what I realized is they never worked. and so that's fixed. And that's for those fortunate souls who can make it to the level before the last one, so level 12. I think that's level 12. This level right here. Voila. So what is it called? So it's stage 5, and the numbering system is different. So stage 5 name, what is your name? Stage 5 required, sim landing, sim loading, stage 5. Okay, stage 5. So that's how the dialogue and the names are encoded. It's pretty common. The way it works is it parses every line, and then depending on the keyword preceding that, then it will parse the next stuff in a different way. Pretty standard. So stage 5, level 5, level 5, level 5. So these are explanation of the different creature and the different things. Voila, stage 5. The brain bug. That's it. Because that's when we have to deal with the brain bug in a bit more hands-on way. So that stuff is fixed, and a bunch of other things are fixed. So far, it's working really smoothly. So I'm going to push it as the last version for the lot check, the patch lot check. So the download will be around 1.4 gig. And then, yeah, that's it on the eShop. So going back, so now I'm closing that. Do I want these? You never know, huh? Let's see, did I save that stuff? Skybox, using a skybox. Did I commit this one? Explosion. Probably a good idea. Yeah. Let's see the level selector. And then, yeah, the thing is I need to delete all the, do I need to delete? Yeah, I should reload that stuff before I mess things up. Okay, yeah, I did a lot of change. Yep, yeah. The stuff in green is new blocks inside the scene descriptor, and the red stuff is what's changed or what's deleted. In this case, root order is the order on the root of one of the hierarchy, and in this case, the hierarchy is all the additional logic to make it work, so that it detects when you have achieved victory on level 0B, second 00B. I have to make sure that 00B and not 0B. If it's 0B, it's going to be too late. So I'm going to reload it. And what else? So yeah, the logic is in the final state machine I was showing last time. The way it works is every state has a transition and an action. Doesn't have to, and it can be an end node, in which case you don't need either. And every state goes to the next one, following certain transition condition, etc. And so because it's all within the scene, it's fairly easy to add. Although retrospectively, you always know better after you've done the stuff. I would say that it is better to hard code a lot of that stuff, and the reason why it's better is because referencing in Unity is particularly difficult to debug because there is no dependency graph in Unity. They don't show the dependency graph. It would be very easy probably for them to add that, but for some reason they've decided not to. And so because of that, when you're using the scriptable objects and when you're using hard reference through the inspector, a little bit, a few years later, or even a few weeks later when you're a one-man show, you tend to trip yourself because it requires a lot of concentration of different type of thinking. One of them is kind of like topological thinking. Some other stuff is like programming thinking, like word-based stuff, and I find it quite challenging. So anyway, just to make sure that I did not peek at the wrong one, let's see. So the condition detector, so the way it works is the FSM goes through all these states one after the other, but not linearly. It depends on what the transition is poking. So this one is giving a transition, so it's explicit transition. Yeah, could be a non-explicit, but then I would have to think in terms of hierarchy and stuff. And I thought the explicit would take care of all the cases, and it does. So that was a good choice. So yeah, it goes through that, and then it fades in. See, that's how it works. It's like this one goes to the first state, and then that state goes to whatever the transition is. In this case, it's 0, 0, and then it goes to initialization. So persistence means that it's loading all the persistence from the persistent scriptable object, and then it's doing all sorts of initialization of what UI should be showing at this moment, the state of the little McDROID over there, the state of various other things, and then once it's done doing all that work, and there is a temporization because I was having problem, and instead of going deep and debugging the source of it, I decided to put a timer, because I think what was going on is some of it was loading from the hardware, and it was doing some funny stuff with frame waiting. You know, it only is available on the next frame because it's asynchronous, etc., etc. So I decided to just give it a hard timer, and it works. Normally, the right way to do those kind of asynchronous things is just to register to a callback, something like that, or wait until the asynchronous operation is finished with a timeout, of course. But you know, that stuff works. So the way it works is it goes through loading the persistence, initializing all that stuff, and then it's fading in and switching from CPU fast load to CPU normal. So I cannot go in detail because it's NDA, but anyway, I'm sure it makes sense. It's really cool, by the way. The switch dev on the switch is very, very hard when you've never done it, but it's also very cool because there's so much control over how the resources are being distributed, are being allocated. It's very, very nice. So we have this and that. Let me see. Okay. So then right after it's done fading in, so it's fade from black to full screen. Oh, there you go. Speaking of which, yeah, I should definitely do that because there was a problem before. So black, showing the blacks. There you go. That's another thing, cool thing I'm using, which is somebody from the community makes a free asset of this, which is something that does lerping. It's designed for transition, and the way it's made is very, very well made. There are a few bugs, but once you know the bug, you can go around it, and it's pretty convenient. But again, this is a tool for level designer, right? If the programmer takes care of it, I think it will be less buggy because it's very prone to making mistake in the inspector. But also at the same time, it's very easy to test it. As you've seen, I just click on that little play button and suddenly, bam, fade to black. It's very, very cool. So the reason why I'm displaying the black fade is because in some condition, I don't really, I didn't have time to figure out why. On the switch only, there is one frame where this is not black, which is kind of weird because see the very first thing that is being done, not the first thing, but one of the first thing is this. So my guess is that this is the reason why. See the timing is like it's enough to, yeah, maybe that's why. There you go, problem solved. So anyway, but I'll keep it like that, it's fine. And the reason why I put 0.001 instead of 0 is because there's a bug in that thing where sometimes 0 works, sometimes 0 doesn't work, and I don't want to take risk and have this hard to find bug creeping in and making things look ugly. So anyway, so once we're done with the fade in, then we go to test a bunch of conditions, and each condition has a timer on it, which allows the condition to trigger. And so the first one is to see if the research tutorial should be displayed, and the way it works is it detects if your laser, the first laser, has been discovered in the level 2, and if that's the case, and if this was not displayed yet, then it will show you a little tutorial of how to use the shop. So what I did is I added the challenge tuto in the same manner. I'm testing if the second level has been won and if that has not been set yet. So that stuff works. Quite happy about it. it was not as painful as it could have been. So that's pretty sweet. And now we're going to save the project and then close this. Fork. Allez, vas-y bonhomme. Alors that's git fork, by the way. It's very good, fast, very responsive. The two devs who work on it are really very cool. Alright, let's see. Hub World now has challenge tuto. What else did we do? Challenge clipboard, improved clipboard look. And I think that is all. Tweaked turret explosion. Explosion, yeah. A good reason why to do spell checking on this. Actually, it'd be nice if it were integrated. Is that when you do a search for a keyword and you made a spelling mistake, ouch, that hurts. Alright, so we're gonna quit all that stuff. Quit. And Davinci Resolve quit unexpectedly. That is not pleasant. And we quit JetBrains, and then we say, all right, no idea. Closed Unity in the background. I think that's what we're going to say. Additional option, automatically send problem report to Blackmagic Design, allow Blackmagic to contact you for more detail. Yeah, I'm kind of wary of all that debugging. I've done enough with Unity. It seems to have paid off, actually. So we're going to go back to Davinci Resolve. And we are heading back into the McDROID switch. And for the remaining of the time, what I'm going to do is just edit. And, you know, probably not talk much, because working and talking is not my forte. Oh, quick fixing. Let's see if it works again. So what we had last time is, if I load that scene, that project, which is super smooth, see? I mean, these are 4K footage. Look how smooth that is. Crazy smooth. The reason why it's super smooth, I have no idea. Because it's actually Apple ProRes 422HQ, right? Which is supposed to be fairly challenging to decode in real time. But not a problem. So perhaps I should do that, but ProRes from OBS, OBS doesn't do ProRes accelerated on the GPU. No, it's still stuttering. Yeah. I don't know, it's fine. So I'll play what we have so far. In solo, voilà. Voilà, that's what I want it to be. Voilà. So, if I remember, if I do That was a tricky one to find last time. It was a role. No. I don't think I can do the whole group. Maybe what I can do is I can do a trim-in? No. Trim out? No. All? No. Shame on you. think what I'll do is play this level again with the new graphics, because those explosions are very distracting. Yeah, I'll do that. Boom. That is not pretty. It's kind of cool. Let's see. This is super cool. Here I'm using the control box, trim out with the jog wheel. We'll do that. So it's very easy, you know, going back and forth and then getting the right timing to the music. So in this case we have see how easy it is without looking at the waveform, even though I can see the waveform right here, but because the wailing starts a little earlier, it's kind of hard to tell. Anyway, so for that one with the rolling, see, I don't understand what that one does. Sleep source. Yeah, okay, sleep source is like that, sleep destination is like that. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Anyway, it's fine. Yeah, that one is not working. The idea of this one is to show a shop, but it might be redundant with some of the other shots I already have. Okay, so Alt Y, no? Alt Y, no? Alt Y? Oh, after the time, okay, gotcha. And then reduce the space. This is cool. I think it's better than that shot. That shot is so much chaos. Alright, so we do sleep destination, right? Until we see a bit of... Yeah, there you go. Like that. slightly better. Still complete chaos, I mean. Unless you're you look at it frame by frame, huh? It's gonna be interesting. But I mean, that's the game, so you know, if you like that kind of chaos, then you get the game, because I don't know any other game like that. I'm sure there are. Oh, that's cool. Oh, this is nice. This is a nice shot. Rolling. I'm so used to this. Yeah, it's not a good one. That's cute. That's kind of nice. Which way is better? Which one is better? Alright. Going to do a cut and we're going to delete that. Ah, cool. And use some other shots. That's nice. Oh, that could be cool. Yeah, gonna do that. Then we do an insert, or rather a white shot. It's gotta move. Yeah, that's cool. So we can show close up and then white shot, and that can be the language of the next part. This is one of the level. Yeah, there you go, a bit more fluid. What's going on here? Yeah, that's cool. That's ugly. Yeah, no idea what that is. It's confusing. It's a cool shot. Oh, this is Nito. And this one, since the game will be sold in Japan, and this is the only translation I had the time to inject. Sorry, my Dutch brethren. I know that I will not be using these. Yeah, that's not good. I took a shot that was pretty cool. It was similar to what we had before. That's kind of nice. Yeah, that shot. Nice boom. Okay. Ideally, I would have a time lapse. Huh? I think I will have to render another time lapse. It's kind of neat. Shot like this, you know. Here is where we are. Perhaps we can add that to. No, that's not it. Is that it? No, it's not it. Okay. There you go. except I cannot really do that because that would break all the synchronization, so I'll do it with the sound. If I even do this. C'est vrai, it's a toggle bass system. Perhaps I can, let's see, rotate, pitch your position, flip. Voilà, parfait. So if I keep that, kind of cool. See, that's a mistake, that square thing, but it's actually quite nice, and I'll probably go back to the visual language of the diagonals for the trailer. That would be a shame to not reuse that. Visual consistency is not my forte. So if there is something that's that can enforce a little bit of visual language, that would be nice. And the reason why this is this way is because I'm using Fusion. Voilà. And Fusion works differently than what I was thinking. See, what I'm used to is when you do that. So that's the media in, so the McDROID logo. And what I'm used to is when you put a mask to something, what is being masked out is transparency, it's alpha transparent, but that's not the case here. So I am sure that there is a way to have it transparent by default. That's kind of neat. Pre-divide, post-multiply, curve type, source, color space. No, that's not gonna work. NTSC field, that's nothing to do with that. So I guess I'm gonna have to dig in a little more to get any idea. See, that's what I'm feeding it, and then it's reversing it over there. Come on, buddy, you can do it. There you go. So it's reversing the alpha, but I wonder if these are shortcuts. Yep. Okay. There you go. Shortcut is the number 1, 2, 3. Very, very cool. It's very similar to Nuke or AD, Soft Image AD. Nice. So I'm not too sure why the 2060 cannot do such a simple operation as a chroma key. Maybe it's not GPU accelerated. Let me see. GPU. Oh yeah, it's heavily GPU accelerated. So I have no idea. Shouldn't be that slow, but oh well, it's okay. I wonder if I turn off the caching, it's gonna go faster. Kinda, but not really. Oh, yeah. Well, now it is. Okay, so proxy, don't use. Optimize media use. Yeah. Okay. Perhaps that's supposed to be a garbage matte. Huh? That would make more sense. There you go. All I need is a public. Alright, so now we have that. And I need to bring back the cropping. Alright, it's the end of the stream.